Yes, gentleman on the left.
Thank you, Claire. Of course, you don't get this. I declare an interest. I'm one of the other lawyers in this hall. So don't boo. I have three interconnected questions. I appreciate this court case dealt with a narrow point of European Union law. But my first question is, to what extent is it lawfully possible for the European Convention on Human Rights to be applied and enforced in the European Court of Justice and via the European Court of Justice, bearing in mind that the European Court of Justice has greater teeth than the European Court of Human Rights? The second question is, do political leaders have the legal power to reach a political agreement which disapplies or seeks to disapply fundamental human rights? I mean, the question's important because the European Convention of Human Rights was introduced to protect fundamental freedoms and fundamental rights in the aftermath of the Second World War, where there was widespread abuses of what we now term human rights. And my third question is this: do you agree with me, sounded like I'm an MP here, do you agree with me that it is inappropriate for political leaders to reach a political settlement behind closed doors in strict secrecy without any public participation? We've seen over the past few weeks here in England that politicians who are allowed to do things in secret can do things we rather dislike.
Well, first of all, let me say that we do extend far and wide in this discussion, but I don't think we're going to enter the British political scene. If, of course, we are referring to the negotiations taking place in Cyprus, frankly, I think that I wouldn't like to know any more than I do know, since one day they have to come out and put the whole thing on paper, give it to us to read. Whether we understand it or not, I have no idea. But in the end, we shall be asked to vote for it. So let them get on with it. Now, the legal questions will Kostas, please have a break, or would you like Kostas to answer the question? It's an international issue. Kostas?
I mean, I think it goes back to what I said earlier, I think, Glauco, about whether to answer your second question, because it leads up to the first one, that the leaders obviously can reach an agreement, but as Harris has said, that it will have to be put to a vote. And there we've taken advice, and obviously there is a significant risk that in international law, if the population, and you don't agree with it, and you've got property, the population by majority vote for a solution, that your individual rights to petition to the European Court of Human Rights could be badly affected, if not extinguished. So that is an important consideration. And that is why, leading to your third question, these negotiations should be more in the public domain, because it affects us and our rights. And I can also see why sometimes they want to keep it private, because I can see our leaders wanting to obviously keep things away from us that are not good news, that won't lead to a particular solution. It's a political game. That's why we have to have a voice. We have a voice, we have to make sure that our voice is heard. And we don't, unfortunately, do it as well as we could. And not just to our own leaders, but to the leaders of Britain and to other EU states. As far as your first question, can you just clarify? You're saying the ECHR rights, the convention rights, what ability is there to enforce those rights in the ECJ? Is that your question, Glauco?
Yes.
Okay. Do you want to go first?
The ECJ is not an enforcing court. It's a court which interprets the law. One goes to the ECJ to have some regulation or a treaty or primary law interpreted, and then one has to go back to the referring country for a final decision. So I'm not sure I understand fully what the question is, and there is no option here. It's not as if one can take the convention and the Human Rights Convention and try and have it applied and used at the ECJ. It's two completely different systems of law.
Should I perhaps be excused in interfering here, but I think it's getting a little bit too legalistic an issue for most of our audience. Is it not?
Yes.
Yes?
Yeah.
Yes. So I'm sorry, but I would like to get on with another question. The gentleman there.
The question is, what is the legal question? And now expect the legal question. What is the legal question now before expected to be decided by the next hearing of the English courts? What is the legal question before the court?
Well, here, prophecy is not my... Okay, hold on.
Okay, basically what the Orams hope to work on is whether there is a principle of law, of public policy that will be manifestly violated if the judgment is enforced in the United Kingdom. They'll have to establish that there is a domestic, an English public policy which will be violated if the judgment is actually enforced. I think they have some arguments about human rights, but it remains to be seen, we don't know yet, whether the court will decide that they will hear such arguments. Maybe we will not have a full hearing, and maybe the appeal, our appeal, will be allowed. So we are not in a position to say that there are at this moment questions of law to be answered by the Court of Appeal. What I can tell you is that the Orams are currently trying to introduce this new argument that there might be a public policy issue at play. There was a reference to human rights. It's not clear to me exactly which human rights of the Orams are being violated. I'm very curious to see the argument put forward.
Thank you very much.